Okay, I'm gonna wait 5 more minutes so that we can reach quorum.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, imagine just like a LinkedIn job listing.
Okay, Millie says she's not.
He's already kind of sent me a call.
Strategic campaigning.
Yeah, I think.
It's like an NA. You don't even have to.
Because like, I would have presented with the airplane cut.
Oh, okay.
So like.
No rush, no rush. Make or here. I don't think we're gonna make it.
Ah.
Also, so like, so it was, if I went to have. So. I picked up a bunch of so yeah. So I thought,
I literally just learned about it. Yeah, I said, I'm just.
my friend's like, who wants to run as a nursing someone who's been stuck ones.
No, I have a little one. I'm only a sophomore. Draw like this sound like Jeremy. Like so. I really love that. I would love to see your.
You're talking about.
Lessons learned.
So, like,
Never mind. Wait. If I go to college.
like kids.
If it was only Caitlin and you know my teacher passed in this time. I was like, you confident? Get away from me. Oh, I got it.
Being over and she.
We had a big conversation about having more versus work on this. So we're thinking about.
Down there. No, we can do both.
And system.
Yeah. Went to angry.
So
It really helps.
is maybe having some.
When they go to hate things, I'm good at that.
No, necessarily mean it's like order, it just.
That's a lot of you so.
For instance, like, it's like, I feel like I'm finding one in three, nice, has like this.
Oh, so we need to.
Like explain.
Yeah, you are.
Are they
I feel like that.
No, they.
She's gonna try to run for that. I don't know, everybody's more like confident in each other.
Yeah, you gotta do.
Why y'all so late? You late? Where's late?
Yeah,
Shut up.
you literally just said I go.
Shut up.
My suit don't even,
So I'm for frogs.
like, I literally just threw my suit jacket on all the day.
I mean, look at other.
Are you trying to dress up for nothing? 5 seconds.
What did we mean?
We have not made, come on. I love people.
More.
And I'm not trying to, oh, I have to be up with these.
Okay, out of respect for everyone's time, we're going to go ahead and begin. Okay, we'll begin with call to order. Sorry, call this meeting to order. We'll begin with roll call.
Senator Bagheera,
Here.
Senator Orjaka, Senator Flournoy, Senator Gassou, Senator Smith Marcel, Senator Mitchell, Senator Szilard, Senator Williams, Senator Joyce, Senator Ontiveros, Senator Ochiocha, Senator Armstrong, Senator Dumas, Senator Lubale,
Here.
Senator Guerrera,
Here.
Senator Arantes, Senator Goldthorpe, Senator Yezek, Senator Muda, Senator Meyer, Senator Amix, Senator Taylor,
Here.
Senator Baker, Senator Whitsett, Senator Sita,
Okay, moving on to the approval of the minutes. I sent out last week's minutes. You guys had a chance to review them? Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, moving on. Is anyone here for open forum? Seeing none, we'll move on to committee reports.
Events committee met last week on Friday via Zoom to discuss, various midnight breakfast things. The playlist is being finalized for midnight breakfast, so we can get that approved. And working on the Amazon list currently of all the decoration items we want. We got a quote back for the movie Lilo and Stitch to show it on the plaza before midnight breakfast as a way to keep students on campus, and we are thinking we're going to move forward with that. And then tomorrow we're going to be meeting with Sodexo at 10:30. So if anyone's available, you're more than welcome to join in Mr. Jamie Dowdy's office, wherever that is. I need Josh to let me know where that is. And then besides that, everything's just really rolling along. Hopefully going to be meeting with Chuck over in the UC about finalizing a few things for midnight breakfast. Org signups are open. Faculty signups, I believe, are open. And everything's rolling. So please come to events. We're going to be meeting at 5:30 tomorrow.
Senator Coburn. Communications did not meet yesterday, but I encourage you all to join our meetings at 6:30. We're working on some new things that I'll be talking about later in the meeting.
Treasurer Barnes. On Thursday, February 26th, the SGAC met with 2 student organizations and approved one event and denied one event. The American Medical Student Association requested $114.73 in CC's Pizza and Walmart items for their Scrub In and Stand Out All About Medicine School Interviews meeting set to take place on March 16th and was approved for an amount up to $114.73. And the Hispanic Student Association and First Gen Patriots requested $115.81 in Domino's Pizza and Walmart items for their bingo night event set to take place on March 18th, and it was denied under Article 5, Section 7.
Chief of Staff Medina, we did have a meeting this last week on Thursday where we talked about the Judicial Board and the new HAWK committee that will be created to replace the Judicial Board for now. And I encourage everybody to come to our meetings. We'll be on Thursdays at 7. And we're going to begin talking about some changes that we need to make for the Constitution according to the changes that will be made in the university next year. And to talk about the Constitution in general, so senators are well informed about what they can do as senators.
Senator Sallard was unable to make it to the meeting, but she sent me her report. She said that she met with Bonnie a couple weeks ago, and they're still clarifying processes for composting on campus. So moving on to student voice reports, College of Pharmacy.
Senator Dumas, I can speak on behalf of the P1 students, or at least partially on behalf of the P1 students. We are in our third week of midterms, so we've wrapped up, I think, the second to last exam that we're going to have to take for this section of exams. And we've had some mixed results. Certain courses, people did not do as well as they were hoping. And we're working with faculty on improving the courses going forward so that trying to find out what's causing all the issues for students and improving the courses going forward so that we can see more desirable results. We've also been having this is our 50-hour rotation section during the spring. And there have been some growing pains with getting students set up with their rotations and making sure that everything is copacetic there. But I think at this stage, most everything has been taken care of with the rotations. Now it's just a matter of making sure that we're meeting all of our objectives for each rotation and making sure that we're getting everything done that we need to get done. Midterm for that class is coming up as well, I believe. I think that's just a review by the preceptor of our performance thus far. And then there's going to be a counseling project for that as well, where we'll counsel patients. Beyond that,
Senator Armstrong, we're currently working on a presentation and a survey about possible campus hour expansions and also study room availability in our building and also in the other buildings around the campus. Our student number is growing as well as people that are attending the university, and we want to make sure that everybody has availability to the resources that they need in order to succeed successfully.
Senator Tiocha, I guess I'll speak on behalf of the upper class people and faculty. Our P4s are on rotation. They're not here on campus. They're spread out across Texas and even out to Oklahoma. And, as far as our scope goes, they're all doing pretty good. The ones that I spoke to, they're getting ready to graduate in May. Excited for that, looking at job opportunities, potentially residency for those that want to do that. I talked to them about how they feel being disconnected from campus and whether they're still getting the emails and things like that. And they are still receiving notifications. They're just not a part of our physical campus. As faculty go, we're currently in the hiring process. We have lost about 3 or 4 faculty within this past year. So we are working on getting more faculty for administrative work and also teaching. Part of our process for hiring faculty for teaching is that they have to lecture a demo lecture in front of faculty and students. So it has been nice having some input. Our higher level 3 students have been able to sit through these faculty lectures and kind of offer their advice of whether we want this person or not. Yes, they may not have the total say whether they come on, but it's nice to at least be able to say, we don't like their teaching style or things like that. The other thing is addressing our current faculty. We did get a lot of new faculty within this past year as well, and there's been a disconnect between the standard of UT Tyler and wherever they came from. So it's kind of just trying to find the balance between their teaching style and what we've been used to. Students have expressed being displeased with how it's going, but I'm working on meeting with the respective faculty as well as their bosses. I have a couple meetings set up next week, which I will include my fellow 2 pharmacy senators on, so they can kind of sit and give their input as well. I think that's, I did want to share our highlights. We take 2 board exams when we graduate. It's a NAPLEX exam, that's to become a pharmacist. And then the MPJE is your law exam, which is just like understanding Texas law and your like boundaries as you are a pharmacist. And the last year's results came out. It's been all over the UT Tyler news, but we were number 2 in the state, 95%. We did beat UT Austin, which I think is a good thing. It shows that we're growing as a university. So those are some of the highlights we have.
Thank you so much, College of Pharmacy. Moving on to School of Medicine. Does anyone have anything to report for the School of Medicine? I will say that their building is opening April 24th. Other than that, moving on to the Honors College.
Okay. So the Honors College is going good right now. They just did a lot of their recruiting for the next cohort of students. And right now, around 31 have accepted their invitation to join the Honors College, and they're looking to get around 60 in total. And then they started presenting their big checks, where they go around the high schools and present the big checks that they earn for their scholarship for joining honors. Um, Dynasia, which is their talent show, is coming up March 19th. It's going to be at 6 p.m. at the UC Ballroom, and anybody is welcome to sign up. Lyceum, which is basically presenting research here at the university, is coming up, and it's going to be April 17th. It's going to be at the UC 3rd floor as well. And anybody who is wanting to present can just go to the honors website for the Lyceum, and it's open to anybody. It's not just honors students. And then leaving this Thursday will be they're going to present research at the Great Plains Honors Council, which is basically like a regional honors meeting at Kansas City, and about 20 students are presenting their research over there. So
Senator Watson. So at the Great Plains Honors Council, there is going to be a full staff for the first time in a long time. There will be 5 staffers available in there. And then looking ahead to coming years, they want people in high school to know about honors, just make it more readily available for them to know that that is available through the school, and to apply, know that it's available to them and it's not just for a select group of people, but that it is like a reality for them. And they want to focus on people who are curious and interested in wanting to learn more about the honors program and what that looks like at UT Tyler. Furthermore, we're looking to make honors core classes, so specifically STEM related classes. And then we're also looking forward to select upcoming travel studies. So for example, there was one that occurred in Italy last time. This was made available at one of the events that honors held, and we're just trying to still decide which one will be next. Thank you.
Thank you, Honors College. Moving on to officer reports. So this past week, I created and sent out signups for tabling for midnight breakfast, and I also sent out the form and created it for cabinet and volunteers. So I sent that out to cabinet, staff, and faculty, and this is open to everyone. So tell your professors they'd like to witness midnight breakfast greatness. Sign up. I also met with Dr. Philly yesterday actually, gave updates regarding UT-SAC, e-scooter survey, and midnight breakfast. This past week, I coordinated with senators who were unable to fulfill their constitutional duties, so meeting quorum should be a bit easier. This Saturday, we went to East Texas Big Event, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in new business. Coming up on the horizon, I have a monthly meeting with Stephanie Fenter and Daniel Delott, the COO and CBO, and then next Monday, I have a meeting with our interim vice president for student success, Dr. Ferguson.
Vice President Burns, this week or last week, I traveled down to Austin on Thursday to sit on a student panel for Momentum on Open Education Resources, sponsored by Dr. Rebecca Karoff. It was a really good experience, and we had the opportunity to really voice some of our action items that we proposed in our recommendations from UTSAC about increasing the transparency of course material cost and increasing the volume of open education resources available to everyone. Got back on late Saturday, and then I met with the events committee, and I gave that debrief there, and then I will be meeting with Sodexo tomorrow to help to try to finalize some more of Midnight Breakfast. In the coming weeks, I'm hoping to be meeting with Chuck about the UC and really kind of, it's all hands on deck right now. Midnight Breakfast is coming up faster than we think, so I think it's 3 weeks away right now. So, and hopefully, I think everything is going to be planned out, and I think it's going to be a good opportunity for students. And I think we are really going to hopefully almost maybe break Tyler's record or get as close as we can.
Coburn, today I made 2 posts on the Instagram page, posted pictures from Midnight Breakfast, and I made a flyer for Midnight Breakfast. I posted pictures from the East Texas Big Event, correction, and I worked on the minutes.
Treasurer Barnes, I've kind of just been handling SGAC. I fortunately have been receiving a couple emails from student orgs who are wanting to request funding but don't exactly know how. So I'm very excited that we're starting to get some outreach about that we haven't already. Other than SGAC, I've kind of just been keeping an eye on the budget and seeing, working with events kind of to see what we can allocate towards Midnight Breakfast to get everything situated because it is drawing near soon.
Chief of Staff Medina, I had my first committee meeting as Chief of Staff. I came up with my office hours, which would be Wednesdays and Fridays from 2 to 4 p.m. And I went to the Texas Big Event on Saturday as well.
Moving on to old business. Does anyone have anything to add for old business? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close old business. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? Moving on to new business, I entertain a motion to open new business. I entertain a motion to discuss special elections. Okay, is there anyone here for special elections? Okay, seeing none, I entertain a motion to close special elections. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? I entertain a motion to open big event recap. Okay, so this past Saturday, we attended the big event. So for me personally, I've been a part of the big event for the past 3 years now since I was a freshman. I've seen it grow from being held in the square on Broadway, not Broadway, the square, then to Bergfeld Park. I've seen the list of student organizations grow, and I mean, I've seen the different projects change over the years. So I wanted to get y'all's input on the different projects you guys were at. If you had any issues, what were some good things you saw, so that we can provide this feedback towards Maddie Bailey. So.
Hello. Okay. Senator Gasu here. I was assigned to East Texas food bank, which I thought it was really cool. I've only done the Houston Food Bank, so it was good to see like the way the other operations work. It's me along with Senator Millie. Were able to meet other SGA senators from Kilgore College that were also there. So it was a good, like, networking event. We got to learn about how their program is functioning. So I feel like it's something that we definitely need to do more as an SGA, just do these maybe one day where we can just go back to the food bank and give back to the community.
Senator Gusue, I think that's a great idea.
I really think that the point system that we've implemented through Patriots Engage drew like a crowd to the big event. I ran into a couple people who came up to me and I was like, "Oh, hey, like, what are you doing here?" And they were like, "Well, I want the 50 points because like of how it taxed on." And I was like, "Oh, that's good to know. Like, I'll definitely be reporting on that." So I think that the points were a motivating factor to help our community. So good news.
That sounds amazing. Senator Orjaka said that she was stationed at the East Texas Food Bank and it was very fun and organized. We had a clear understanding of what we had to do and we did a lot of packages, which was very nice. This year they kind of really drove home like site leaders. Did you guys notice a change from last year? If you were a part of that, I can't really say because I was a site leader. So does that mean yes?
I think that that means yes. I will say, compared to last year when I volunteered as a freshman, it did seem a lot more organized. That could have also been because of the weather. It wasn't so like cold, so everyone was out in t-shirts and their shorts. Like everyone was ready to have a good time. It did feel a little more organized with those site leaders, though. So I'm really glad that we were able to implement that.
Did anyone else go to a different project other than the food bank? Senator Joyce.
Is it on? I was put at Path, Neighborhood Path, but I knew nothing about, so that was cool to learn what that was about. It's in the northern part of Tyler, and it's a neighborhood that's for people and families struggling to afford like normal housing rates. So they created like a neighborhood of homes that they hope these families afford. And we just got to clean up the park, and then half of us cleaned, like there's a cute little park in the middle of it. And then the rest of us went and picked up trash around the neighborhood, and it was really fun. We connected with some TJC kids, and yeah.
Sounds great. Senator Meyer.
Me and Senator Meyer, we went to the children's park and it was nice. We got to like plant new plants for the children's park and rake leaves and just kind of have like a make it nicer, look nicer for people to come in there and walk and just feel welcome. I think the only issue that I had with it was women's soccer. They were all there, which was really nice for to like and very helpful. However, they all had to leave at 11 and it was like a big group of just them and like a little of other people. So we were kind of left doing a majority of it on our own after they left.
Okay, thank you. If you could change one thing about the event, what would you change? Oh, Senator Watson.
Senator Watson. I was not in attendance at this event, but part of that had to do with the requirement that was on the website. And so this wasn't about registration. We knew that registration was already closed, but I had wanted to exhaust my options of information, just making sure, if I'm not registered, would I be able to go anyway? And on the page, though it's not within necessarily SGA mandate, it was in association or accordance with another organization here on campus. Um, they had added like to the UT Tyler page about the big event this information, but at the bottom it was emboldened and underlined and italicized that it was required that registration be done beforehand in order to attend. But it was brought to my attention after the fact that you could actually just show up and be there. And so I thought this could be an issue perhaps for student engagement or a deterrent, particularly for students who, if they don't think to ask someone in their organization, or it isn't made clear so far as like how important it is that registration is, then maybe it's a deterrent from them trying to go or wanting to attend at all. And so that has to do with, yes, this particular event, because that was where I saw this on, but I could see how that could be a potential quote unquote issue for other events. And so I'm not exactly sure how or like what we could do as SGA, but perhaps I know we talk to student bodies and we talk to other organizations, so perhaps like a broadcast email suggesting that you list the priority of the registration requirement and you say, we would like you to register, but maybe it's not like explicit as you have to register. I think students should know that they can attend certain things if it is otherwise possible for them to be able to, so that that's not a deterrent for student engagement. Thank you.
Sense. Senator Meyer.
Senator Meyer, I would say probably two things, kind of just what Senator Watson said, just like touch base on that. I do think that they really hashed on the fact that you had to sign up before, and there was a lot of people that came that didn't sign up, and the fact that we had to go and fill out the same exact form when we got there to like get our placements. I just thought that was kind of like, what was the point of registering if we have to fill out the exact same form? But also like just the organization on where people are going and where they're placed. I feel like it was kind of random, and some organizations were together, some weren't. I don't know if that was because maybe they all signed up together or what, but I know they were just putting people in kind of different spots. So just maybe a better way to organize that. And then just like the fact that the whole soccer team left at 11, like maybe split the team up so they're not all being taken from one area, because it was majority soccer and then like 3 people, and then we had 2 site leaders. So it was like we were kind of left, and it wasn't that we didn't mind doing the work. It was just like all of the people who were helping do the work were gone. So it was like we had less time to get things done and like less hands. So that's probably it for me.
Thank you. Does anyone have a positive to share about the big event? Joel.
Hi, Senator Mitchell here. A positive thing about it was a very interesting event. Getting to meet other people and talk to them outside of SGA, or talking to those senators outside of SGA, is a really good, like, refreshing type of thing, because you don't know these people other than just by their senator last names. So getting to meet these people outside of that was a very good experience. It's also a very good experience in general of being at the East Texas Food Bank, seeing how they do it. And apparently we were the best at it because we finished the whole pile. So it was just it was a very interesting event. I enjoyed it. I think a lot of people can say the same thing, other than it was just a little hot, but we know. But other than that, it was a very good event, especially with interacting with others. That's all I'll say about it.
Senator Baker.
Okay, Senator Baker here. I really enjoyed getting to be involved in the East Texas Big Event. I actually got to talk with some e-board members that I've never met outside of SGA and get to know them a little better, and I'm definitely more confident and comfortable going to talk to them now. Yeah. And then I really enjoyed also getting to know other just senators in general because like Senator Mitchell said, I don't really know them outside of their last names. And if you tell me their first name, I'm not going to know who you're talking about unless I see a face. So it was really nice getting to know some other people and also feeling like I actually helped people.
That's awesome. Thank you. Does anyone have anything else to add for the East Texas Big Event recap? Treasurer Barnes.
It's not so much something to add, but I'm curious, was anybody volunteering at the East Texas Big Event that was for another organization outside of SGA? If so, like, can I hear about your experience on how that went not being a part of SGA specifically?
Senator Orontes.
Senator Montes. Yeah, I was with Logos, which is like the honors, Senate separate from SGA. Anyways, it was good. I got to, you know, spend more time with them and talk to them. And like, I was around y'all a little bit too, because we were at the East Texas Food Bank as well. But overall, it was just a great bonding experience for sure. So.
Senator Meyer, I was with Zeta, also my sorority. But I mean, I kind of just hung out with both. I ended up getting placed with neither SGA or Zeta, so it was kind of weird for me. Um, Other than Senator Amix, we both got placed somewhere else, so it was a little odd that my whole sorority went somewhere, and then half of SGA went somewhere, and then the other half of SGA went somewhere else. But I mean, it was fine. We had a good time, so.
Treasurer Barnes.
I promise this will be my last question for y'all. So I heard that y'all got like separated in the future. So my experience with this former big event, it was whoever your like collective group of people was, they were like, how many of y'all are for, whatever, like state your event or your organization here. And we'd say, oh, like 10 of us. And they'd give us like 10 little cards or little lanyards. And so like for the next big event. Like let's say that hopefully we're all in SGA for the 26-27 academic year, right? Would we want to like meet maybe 15 or 30 minutes before like check-in? That way we can all be like, hey, there's 35 of us, where do we need the most help? Is that something that we would want to plan for the future so we're all together?
President Okafor, that sounds like a great idea, but also whoever is president or really the vice president can coordinate with Maddie Bailey and figure out where the most help is needed. Does anyone have anything else to add for the East Texas Big Event recap? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close this discussion. That was carried and seconded. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. And all those opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, I entertain a motion to open SGA newsletter. Okay.
Secretary Coburn. So I wanted to talk about this newsletter I've been working on, mainly like the formatting and if there's any recommendations for like the name new business when we do our new business, if you have a name that's better than that. But I couldn't come up with anything better. And if you wanted to like name the newsletter something more creative, but I just wanted to hear about what y'all think about the format. Because I got the speaker's podium, and our last speaker's podium was Advisor Neves, and he talked about the point system, so we're promoting that here. And then our new elections that we did last meeting, and then what our committees are doing, and then announcements. So I just wanted to hear what y'all think about that.
Vice President Burns. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think it really, I like the colors and everything. I like the format. And I really like the way that you're highlighting not only initiatives from SGA, but like with Josh's speaker's podium, highlighting some initiatives from the university that students need to know about. I think it's a really good idea, and I think it will hopefully help to push out more of what we're doing and kind of get our name out there more. My question is, where do you plan on publishing this? Is this like a student-wide email thing? Is it an Instagram thing? What is the mode of publication?
So I was thinking that we could promote it on the Instagram and also send it out through email. But I haven't talked about how that would work exactly. But I want to promote it on the Instagram. But I'm thinking email is probably the best form.
Senator Whitsitt.
Senator Whitsitt here. I think this is a good idea. There we go. For like promoting our engagement with students and showing people like what we have, because we can also put like future events that we are hosting and maybe get more student involvement in SGA because that's who we are representing and show them like their impact with who they voted.
Chief of Staff Medina, I would say that I actually like that you put new business. I feel like a lot of people don't know the terminology that we use in SGA. So that's a way of promoting that too. Like that's how we call like the news in SGA, like the new business.
I'm also thinking that we could add a section where we talk about things that the student government has done in the past, like flashback on this day, this many years ago, SGA voted on this. And maybe if we don't have a big story or something, or if we have less to write about, or we just want to promote something we did to remind people what we do.
President Okafor, sounds like a great initiative that, I've been really pushing for since I was a sophomore. I'm really happy that it's getting put into the works. I was wondering when you'd be sending these out, the frequency, what would that look like?
So I want to write one or post one every 2 weeks, so that way we get 2 weeks of information to write about, and so about 2 newsletters a month. And I'd like to send it out as soon as possible for the first one, and then go off of that date for the every 2 weeks of them.
Yeah.
Senator Yozik, I think it's a great idea. I love the bulletin or the newsletter. I'm just curious also, like your frequency, every bi-monthly, sounds like, so that it's going to go out consistently on a particular day or week of the month or something like that. But is this going to be in somebody's job description to continue? And just curious.
President Okafor, I could speak towards that. So technically in the Constitution, could you turn that? Sorry. With the secretary position, all their duties are listed on the Constitution. If this is something we wanted to add to their job description, it is certainly welcomed with the Rules Committee. It just needs to go through the same process we saw last semester. Watson?
Senator Watson, my question is, well, I'll comment first. This is great. Good, thank you for doing it. Second, my question is this going to be a solo project, or will there be a committee or group of individuals working on this, or is there an openness to people working collaboratively on this project? Thank you.
So I collaborated with the communications committee last week, and I had a couple people write some different portions of the newsletter that we have so far. And so ideally, I'd like it to be a collaboration with the communications committee, so it's just not one person having to write the whole thing.
President Okafor, just a quick tip. If you are gonna use that microphone, like hold it directly in front of your mouth so that Zoom can hear.
Senator Tiocha, I think it's a great idea. I do like the design of it way better than anything I would have came up with. My only problem is the spelling of announcements there. It's been like hitting my eye the whole time. But other than that, it's really good.
Not peer reviewed it yet.
For at least this was brought up, in General Assembly, so this is technically our peer review. Thank you for that. Does anyone have anything else to add towards the newsletter? Maybe with the name, do we want something a little bit more creative than SGA newsletter?
Senator Tiocha, I won't spell check again, but my other question would be, would this be more of formal language or informal language when like writing this newsletter?
I'm thinking more of a formal language since it's a newsletter. But I'll collaborate with the communications committee. So join that committee. It's Mondays at 6:30, and you can give me more input there and help make it.
Senator Bergara said that she likes it. Does anyone have anything to add about the newsletter? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the SGA newsletter. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, moving on to, I entertain a motion to discuss ADA compliance. That was carried and seconded. So former Senator Bevel reached out to me, and he kind of sent out a little bit of concern regarding compliance with our compliance with accessibility, specifically in the Ratliff building, and how the buttons and specifically at different buildings where you'd press to have it open up for you weren't working. I was wondering if you guys had faced similar problems or issues, and could discuss a little bit more about where you're seeing that. Senator Gasu.
Senator Gasu here. As a pre-med major, a lot of my classes are in Ratliff. I would say that it is an older building, so the elevators do take longer because everybody tries to get to class. With that being said, last semester I noticed more people rather take the stairs and make it there than wait for the elevators. But I mean, yeah, I would say that maybe maintenance just needs to come, just kind of look at everything to make sure that it's good because sometimes, respectfully, I felt like I was gonna die in the elevator because it was shaking. But that's just me. That's just me.
Senator Baker.
Okay, Senator Baker, as someone who also has most of my classes in Ratliff, I've noticed that the South Ratliff doors, facing like the lake, the first automatic door rarely opens. And if it does, you kind of have to yank it a little bit before it open. And then this morning, actually, the left door, which is not the automatic door, was locked. So I had to yank the automatic door open to get to my class on time. And then I also agree with the elevators. I'd rather take the stairs sometimes and get my cardio in than wait on the elevator or be crammed in there with a bunch of people.
Senator Mitchell.
Yes, Senator Mitchell, I can agree to attest to that. Ratliff and nobody mentioned it, but Cobb also has I want to say the door facing the parking lot. So the door facing the parking lot, uh, it it's very slow. Like it'll hit you if you don't pay attention. So it's one will come open and the other one won't come open until like a couple of seconds later. And then I've seen a lot of people get hit with that. I hope they're okay. I mean, it's a heavy door. But I've seen a lot of people get hit by that, or I've seen sometimes both of them won't open up and you just have to pick it up yourself. And different things, especially at Ratliff too, or in Cass, they both have elevators that are really slow and are kind of shaky a little bit. I don't know if it's because of my sons or I mean, but other than that, I don't know. Other than that, it is very shaky.
Senator Mitchell. I'm sure a lot of people have faced the same difficulties. I will say, Vice President Burns.
President Oakford might be about the same thing, say the same thing I'm about to say. I just want to make a note that automatic doors are not actually required by the ADA. They're highly recommended, but I'm sure, our maintenance workers are very, very overworked, and I'm sure they have many requests to be put in. And so I think we can all, have patience and hope that, these issues will get fixed. But I just wanted to note and just kind of preface the conversation with like the doors that like where you press the button and it automatically opens is not actually an ADA requirement, but it is very useful.
President Okafor, that's a nice comment, but we also do have students on this campus who need those automatic doors to enter the building. So it'd be nice to hear from other senators too, what might be going on the third perspectives places on campus. Senator Otiocha.
Senator Otiocha, I will say the door by the Met entering in there, aside from like the automatic part not working, even me as somebody that I wouldn't consider myself like unable to open the door, I struggle sometimes to pull that door open because it's pretty heavy. So I can imagine somebody in a wheelchair trying to pull the door and keep their chair from hitting the door at the same time. I think it's concerning as well because it deters them from. I've seen people like I've watched in the glass. It's like one-way glass, and you can see people come to that door, struggle, and then just go away and not like eat because of that. So the people working the Met have had to, when they see people doing that, and they start turning away. They run to the door and push it open and kind of welcome them in. But I think that's a problem too because people are getting deterred from like they made up their mind to come eat, and just because of that, they can go like off campus or go spend money or do something else. So I think it's important that we address that not just only for the people with disabilities, but even people that can't pull a heavy door. So.
Okay, thank you. Secretary.
professor tell me last year that one of her colleagues, his office was in the Ratliff building and he had to move offices because he had students who were unable to get to his office for his office hours due to accessibility issues. So I think it's important that the professors' offices are at least accessible.
Senator Gasu.
Senator Gasu here one second. Okay, Senator Gasu here as somebody who is frequently called because I am a patron ambassador. There's a door, it's on the side, it's like on the right side of Sushi Mama. And sometimes that door has gotten a lot of maintenance fixed because the screws come out. So if you're not careful, like you will see the screws, and I see that door gets fixed way more times than it should. And even on the other door that Senator Mitchell was talking about, that door also, like, especially when we have like group tours where students are coming to see the school and the door is just not working, or I don't know. And then with Ratlet too, that main entrance in the back facing the police department parking lot, that one, basically the left side door has not been working for the past 2 years that I have been at the school. It never works. You can't pull it to get in. Everybody knows you either take the right door or you go take another door. So we can definitely get that looked at as well. That's just me.
Thank you. Senator Otiocha.
Senator Otiocha, I just had a question. You mentioned Sushi Mama. We have that on campus? Okay. I just didn't know what that was. Okay, thank you.
President Okafor, you learn something new every day. So what SG has done in the past in terms of ADA compliance is we have these papers and we can do safety walks. So this also comprises of ADA, but also things that are on the sidewalks or things that are possible safety issues. SGA kind of goes through like at their specific college, or we go as a group together and kind of walk campus and see what things that are kind of not working and what are working, and use that paper to kind of report back to facilities or administration, things that can be added or fixed. Is that something you guys would be interested in? Treasurer Barnes.
In the nursing building, or rather outside of the nursing building, when you there's like a little accessibility. It's not a push though, like you wave your hand and it opens. Is it like possible to get those more accessible on campus instead of the little buttons? Maybe that would like fix some of the automation issues if we implement a new system for those automated doors, like the one in front of nursing.
President, oh, that was loud. President Okafor, that's definitely a suggestion. It might just come down to budget and that specific college. But do we want to do those walks after spring break? Before midnight breakfast? Okay. So I'll send out on GroupMe a little sign up where we can pick a day that works best for everyone outside of General Assembly, and preferably in the evening so that everyone's out of class. Senator Whitsitt.
To add on to the safety walks, I know we talked about last semester with the lighting issues. Would it be able to do it kind of around if we're doing the evening? Because there are still places that are not lit well on campus, I've noticed, walking back from the library or walking to the UC at night. So we can kind of two birds with one stone and check them both.
President Okafor, yes, that would be comprised on the list. Does anyone have anything else to add to ADA compliance? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close this discussion. That was carried and seconded. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? I entertain a motion to discuss guest speakers. Okay, so I have a list of potential guest speakers, and specifically for Dr. Haas, our provost, I was wondering if you guys had specific questions or topics that she could cover regarding academics. Also, if you don't know what a provost is, the provost is basically the assistant vice president over academic affairs. So do you have any ideas for, do you want to learn more about the new programs that UT Tyler is offering? Mitchell?
Huh, if I got this right, I want to speak about to her about more about like AI and ChatGPT and Grammarly and stuff like that. Because I recently just ran into a problem where I used Grammarly and it kept getting flagged for 100%. Mind you, I wrote the speech and everything. I'm a published author, I promise. But like I kept writing it and like she was saying, "Oh well, we don't know if you wrote it then, now, did you write it then?" So it was like no evidence that they could prove it. But I'm trying to tell her, hey, this is what I wrote. I only use Grammarly, and recently I went to another professor and they were like, this is annoying. So they were like, we if you use Grammarly, it can flag us 100%. So I would want to talk to her about like different rules and regulations around that, how we could figure out. I know it's already a hard subject as it is, but if we could probably provide more lenience to it, it was just something that I could mention.
Senator Gasu here. One of the senators of the BEP. I just want to know when are they planning to communicate to students that the psychology program is getting moved and it's going to turn into the College of Education? I just want to learn more about the education majors because I want to know why, because I have a personal roommate going through it, why they're not allowed to choose a specific class grade level that they want to focus on, and why do they get assigned different things but what they're supposed to, like if I want to teach first grade, why am I in the sixth grade for the couple semesters? So I definitely want to know about that. I want to know also like just overall about the education program because I think it's important that we all know, because of like I did not know like they weren't allowed to wear certain things. I had to find that out and I was like, okay, interesting. But I feel like if we all just know about what's going on, the plans that they're having. I have been receiving some emails about like the potential doctor of physical therapy program and different things like that. So yeah, it's good to know about the different majors that they're working on.
You. I know College of Pharmacy, you guys have mentioned in your officer reports some things about the curriculum. Would you like to know more on an executive level, like the efforts being done on y'all side? Yeah, so you guys shared during your student voice report some of things that are going on in terms of your curriculum, and so on. Oh, bless you. I was wondering if you guys wanted to know a little bit more about that on an executive level and the planning that goes behind that.
I definitely think that would be helpful because sort of as it stands right now, there's frustration among, my classmates and the student body at large. And it's something where I think if we were able to know from the faculty, from the administrative perspective, what they're doing, why they're doing it, it would make it a little bit easier for me to go, okay, well, that's kind of an unreasonable frustration. That's a reasonable frustration, that sort of thing. So I think that would be very helpful.
Senator Teosha, I know currently they're rewriting the curriculum set to come out 2028. Wouldn't obviously be of benefit to us, but I think it's still important like for us to hear from them what that new curriculum comprises of. I know they just redid it for nursing program that will start this fall, looking at ways to benefit students more. And I know that's what they're working on for our program. Like I said, it won't benefit us, but I would like to know, my kids that may want to come here in the future as pharmacy students, what would the curriculum look like?
Thank you. In addition, I have a couple other questions. So, in terms of guest speakers, what do you guys look forward to when you're hearing from a guest speaker? Isu.
Okay, wait, sorry. I have one question. Is the provost also over the UT Tyler Med School, or like just? Yeah. Okay, so going back to the last question, I also want to know why we are in the 5th cohort of the med school, but our building is still not done. So I want to know that. And then with the guest speakers, I feel like I listen. I like when Dr. Julie Philly comes here, shares things with us that the whole school may not know. But as a me personally, I feel like there's a lot of deflection and not answers. So if we can get results and answers, that would be great. Mhm.
Thank you. Senator Otiocha.
Senator Otiocha, this is not an attack to any speaker that's spoken in the past, but just in general, if they do plan on speaking, to dedicate time to speak to us, because I know everybody's busy, I get it, but if they're gonna dedicate a time to speak to us, at least be available rather than it feeling rushed, like just hurry up and get the opinions, and even when there's still hands trying to go up, it's like the time is over. So I think just being available, like kind of what she said, and just open to answering questions. You don't have to tell us everything, but at least just be available and be there.
That's it.
Senator Whitsitt, an aspect of guest speaking that I like is like the discussion aspect, because these people can send out information or send you an email or send out the new school plan, but being able to talk to them and ask your questions and follow up and give your advice is really helpful in getting to that face to face, so that you can get your answers now, or they can go research it instead of waiting for an email back or trying to find them or hunt them down.
Vice President Burns, my question for Dr. Haas would be, with the school medicine opening ceremony coming around the corner, you said April 28th, 24th. I think that's such a big event for our college and for our community as a whole, with the medical school coming to East Texas. I know I've lived here my whole life, and this is like the biggest thing that's happened here in forever. I think a great question would be, how can SGA be involved, if there's any way that administration would want SGA involved in such a huge moment for our community and for our school?
That's a good point, but I think that question would be more so catered towards Stephanie Fenter or Josh. Could you give a little insight?
All right. So, couple of points of information. The provost is the chief academic officer, and so they are over all of academics. And so they're an executive vice president for academics. And so Dr. Haas oversees anything related to academics. So I think a lot of your questions are good ones. I think it is okay to ask, like, okay, how can student government be more engaged in some of the colleges? I think how y'all are composed is a great way, but y'all's challenge that y'all keep running into is not filling seats. And so it's important that we try to go out and raise awareness about student government and try to get more students to be engaged in y'all's organization. I hear some of the comments. I'm going to go ahead and address my 2 cents to reduce my section. I think it's good that you'll have a lot of great questions. I think I need to be as detailed as possible for those questions. And so that way they are prepared to answer those questions, because sometimes, depending on the nature of the question, we may have to go ask some of the staff members or the deans who might be over that specific college or program. Dr. Haas is very supportive, all of leadership is. And so knowing the questions in advance is super important. So it's good that you are having these conversations, but try to be more specific, so that way leadership can come prepared on that. And so I think they're always happy to have a conversation. If it's something that's not in their wheelhouse, they are going to be more than happy to get the answers and to share that. Some of the comments, it takes time. It takes time to build buildings, parking, but I promise that progress is consistently being made. As one of the old guys who's been here for a long time, I've seen a lot of change, and so it does take some time, but it's been really good and exciting. So it is exciting times, and we're moving as quick as possible so that way everybody in the room can experience that change.
Chief of Staff Medina.
Dina, I'm wondering, is there a way we can send, since we know a week in advance who's gonna come speak, is there a way we can write those questions down and send those to that guest speaker so that guest speaker is ready to answer those questions?
President Okafor, that's what I'm compiling now. I'm the one who reaches out to them and sends out these questions. So I'm trying to get a feel of the room for what we want. Additionally, I have another question. What information from guest speakers would best guide your constituents, whether it's from a financial standpoint or a housing standpoint, or even an academic standpoint? Mitchell.
Yes, you said it. Sorry, Senator Mitchell. You said it perfectly on the dot. I am one of the senators that really want to look at that financial state. So I really want them to get more involved in that finance department part. So I want them to talk about more breakdown, like how this is what you're paying, this is how you paid, best financial aid, different stuff like that. Because especially with the school growing even further and it's going to continue to keep growing, eventually I know some, or I don't know, I will say that somehow or some way somehow I feel like tuition will be raised or you will have to pay more money to come here. So I mean that's just a broad question. I feel like a lot of people do ask but do not get answers to.
President Okafor, that's a great point. We could definitely coordinate regarding financial aid opportunities and how to best serve our constituents. But on a tuition and fees standpoint, I feel like I might be the best person for that because I serve as the chair for the student fee committee where we set the fees for students. So that could possibly be a new business and we can do a breakdown of the fees and what that goes to. These meetings are also recorded. So we do one at least once every fiscal year. So I can send out that video and then we can do a debrief on that too. Treasurer Barnes.
You mentioned on behalf of constituents, and I surround myself with a lot of nursing students, and a common topic is the new curriculum that they have implemented that is in contrast to the previous program where you would take pathology. Now the course it's called the 3 Ps, and it focuses on pharm, patho, and then fundamentals. I would be interested on behalf of my nursing constituents. Why did we change? I know that it's to better students or to give them a deeper understanding, to make them more successful, to set them up for success. But on an executive level, why did you make those changes? How did those come about? That's a very specific question. Maybe that can be addressed at another point, but I still think it's something worth mentioning.
President Okafor, I can give you a little insight to a student who kind of was there for the process and the starting of the new curriculum. Overall, it was just to have our students be a little bit more educated, have the course run a little bit smoothly, from a pharmacology standpoint. I will tell you. So the 3 biggest classes for nursing students are pharmacology, patho, and intro to chemistry. So those statistically, from what I've heard from administration, are the classes where most students fail or they receive lower grades on. So the idea was to move pharmacology outside of level one so that students get more prepared for nursing school before they actually enter and kind of get a root for what it would be like, especially pairing it with something like patho and holistic, which kind of all go together. Because learning about a disease process would make more sense if you know what medication to treat it with. Senator Whitsitt.
I understand this might take more time than these guest speakers would have to prepare, but I feel like just giving them numerical data to our constituents would be the best because we can tell them like, oh, they said this, or they said that, but getting actual numbers seems to work best in like explaining things to people or telling them why, like how you said this a percentage of people were failing these courses, and that gives them more reason. But I know that also would take longer for them to compile.
You, Senator Otiocha.
Senator Tiocha, some of the questions or things that I would like addressed would be, I know we're one of the UT schools with about 95% acceptance rate. So kind of hearing from her perspective, will there be a cap like in the future with the way that we're rising, or will we continue to take almost everybody? And what are the plans with, I know like one of the things that sets us apart from most UT schools in our system is the small student to faculty ratio. So how do we see that moving forward? If we are increasing the admission rate, will we have more faculty, or will we turn into a like public school? Because then that'll take away from us standing out as a UT school.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything else to add for the guest speaker discussion? Or do you have anyone in particular you'd like to hear from that I can still reach out to? Vice President Burns.
When I was down in Austin the other day and I was talking to Tara Gullings, our OER librarian, I had actually mentioned something to her about being a guest speaker at some point, and she seemed very interested. So she might be someone to reach out to. She was interested in coming to talk about a lot of the OER initiatives on campus and kind of the grant programs and how students can use the e-textbooks. And I think it'd be really valuable information for students.
Does anyone have anything else to add towards guest speakers? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close guest speaker discussion. Wait. Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? Does anyone have anything else to add towards new business? Seeing none, oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Well, you have to motion.
Oh, I motion to open a discussion on the results of the BEP Success Fair tabling last week. Okay, so basically a recap, just so everybody knows what's going on. We did a tabling, me, Senator Mitchell, Senator Smith Marcel, did a tabling where we just asked various students various questions, but it was like on a scale of 1 to 10. So I'll just kind of, break down the results just a little bit so that we all know what's going on. So we had it during the University Center between 10 to 12, and it was like open to, one of the questions were, what's your academic college? So we had everybody from SOLS, BEP, School of Nursing, School of Health Professions, Honors College, School of Engineering, and School of Arts and Sciences. So to get more specific, we asked students on the scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel in completing your degree on time? There was, sorry, 1 second. 31% felt like it was 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. 17% felt that they were, the number 8. And then The lower one was 5, so half and half feel like they can complete their degree on time. The next question was, how would you rate the scale within your major from 1 to 10? The average response was 7. The next question was, if you've been presented with internship opportunities within your college, 52% of students said yes, 38% said no, and then 10% said not sure. With what is one thing you would like to improve about your college? Senator Smith Marcel is going to talk.
Senator Smith Marcel, from the results, we found that a lot of people from their academic college want to improve tutoring opportunities, funding, as well as undergrad internships, because a lot of the internships are kind of cut off at the age of like 21. Like you have to be 21 and up for the internship. So more of like freshmen and sophomores want those opportunities. A lot more people want communication about the opportunities because they feel like they're not actually getting any like emails or messages about anything that's going on for them. And then the next question that we had was, what organized events or opportunities would you like to see? A lot of people said that they want to see hands-on opportunities, networking, um, a lot of networking. Meeting more people from their major because they feel there's a distance between, I guess, the people that are in their classes with them, especially because a lot of the classes you can be a different major, but that's not your major. And then for the next question, it was, how likely would you recommend your major to incoming freshmen? A lot of people said very likely, which is good. That means a lot of people are actually enjoying where they are and they really want to see progress. So, yes. And then Senator Mitchell is going to say the rest.
Question 9, on a scale below, how knowledgeable do you feel about your career options within your major? A lot of people said they're very knowledgeable about that. So on a scale, a lot of people felt like they were a 10. On question 10, it said on a scale below, how accessible advising services within your department? A lot of people said that they are feeling a 6 on that, at 17%. And a lot of them are feeling a 10, sorry. And then there's a 31% on 10. I'm going to go over a little bit about the academic advising problem as well. There's a lot of people who put on open forum about the academic, it was up there. Academic advising, kind of struggling to communicate with their advisors and different things like that. They felt like they weren't giving them enough information, or they don't give them enough, or they just give them a little bit of information. They have to keep going back. I have no personal issue with my advisor yet, but like I said, a lot of them were saying that they just didn't have the communication up to par, and that's just in general with the School of Psychology and Education.
Yeah, and to conclude it, I think S tabling was a good opportunity to just even get SGA out there, because at first people did not know what we were doing, but eventually they were just asking us. I would say that the student population that came to our table was they were very frustrated with what was going on within their college, and there was a lot of things that we could not answer. Like, for example, cheating. I see it's out of my control to help with her class. And then it was just like random stuff, but overall there were a lot of serious students that just expressed that they just want more opportunities. Somebody also said that they were taking away a major, that they were the last person within I think it was like the College of Health Science. I forgot the major. It was hard to remember, but he was like, he's the last person getting that degree. So I feel like just overall communication is important. Yeah, and we can definitely like share this with the rest of the schools. They also had like housing problems, but I feel like as overall, I would also table again. I think SGA and different senators should also table as well, so that way we are able to get input and bring it back to y'all.
President Okafor, yeah, that sounds like an amazing opportunity that you guys did. Thank you for doing that. You guys brought back a lot of valuable data, and you could definitely share that data with Provost Haas as she comes in here, because a lot of those were relating to academics. Additionally, for tabling, I know the College of Engineering is planning on doing that on the 20th. So if you want to go and support them or stop by Ratliff while they're tabling, that would be much appreciated. Additionally, if you're a senator, whether you're a housing senator or a class senator, you can still table. It's not only relinquished to colleges or schools, and it's definitely an opportunity to go out and meet your constituents. I entertain a motion to close the BEP tabling discussion. All those in favor? Okay, thank you. And all those opposed? And any abstentions? I entertain a motion to close new business. All those in favor? Thank you. And all those opposed? Okay. Moving on to advisor comments.
I'm still getting used to the mics. Really good meeting. Got a little worried there for a second at the beginning, but really proud that we met quorum. I know usually right before spring break over the years, it's been kind of a hit and miss. Some students take off a little early, so it's good to see all of y'all here. Really good voice reports. College of Pharmacy, y'all crushed it. And so they did a really good job, in my opinion, of modeling what we should be talking about during voice reports. Really, going through, y'all had a really proud to see all of y'all at the big event. It was the largest one ever. Really good feedback. And so Maddie Bailey is our assistant director of campus activities. She oversees leadership and service programs. And so I think she would be excited to get some of that feedback. A survey did go out, I believe, yesterday about big event. And so make sure to fill out that survey. If you didn't get it, let her know. We'd be happy to get you access to that survey. And so we did our best to make sure that we try to support all of our community as much as we can. And so there was kind of a reasoning how the distribution took place on that. I'm excited about the newsletter. I think my recommendation would be to send it out student wide, but that's ultimately up to y'all and how y'all want that distributed. I think it's also kind of a good opportunity for the committee, the communications committee, to divide and conquer that initiative. As far as the ADA compliance, really great feedback on that. Anytime you see an issue like that, report it. We just, if you see something, say something. And so if something's not working, we may not always know that a door handle's loose or a door is super heavy. Report it. And so send it to me, send it to Victoria. We would be more than happy to get that reported up. And so that way those can get addressed. And so we have an amazing facilities team. And so they are always out and about and trying to fix things. And so things like that, they just need to know and they're going to do their best to fix it. If it's something that can't be fixed right away because of electrical or cost, they'll definitely report that and we can share that so that way we can get some communications out. I'm excited about guest speakers. I think a lot of your questions were great questions. And Dr. Haas has a great team. And so she might invite some of her team or recommend some of her team come in place so they can answer some of those more specific questions. And then I'm excited about y'all's midnight breakfast. And so I'm really curious to see how many students show up for that. And so I know you are probably looking forward to spring break. But when y'all come back, that's all eyes should be focused on the rest of the semester, including homecoming. So other than that, keep up the good work. Good to see y'all.
Hey, does anyone have any announcements? We have midnight breakfast the 24th. When we come back on the 17th, we'll have your placements. So I will also send out a form for you guys for where you want to be placed to. Other than that, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? You guys are now adjourned.